As we wait for the eventual collapse of our societies with the ever-growing food prices, I thought it would be a good idea to show you how you can do a very simple meal for very, very low money. So I headed over to the supermarket to buy some ingredients, in this case some onions. These onions aren't looking extremely wonderful, but this is what produce looks in the real world. It's not always picture perfect, but it's fine. Garlic, of course, is a very important component as well. Green bell peppers have the advantage of not only being the cheapest, but also, I think, the most flavorful ones for cooking applications when you're using it as a base. Now, if you want to cook for cheap and still enjoy it, I do recommend buying some kind of seasoning mix, like a chicken stock or chicken cube or any kind of flavor, really. I'm going to pick this up because I've tasted it before and it's pretty good. It's not necessary, of course, but if you're on a tight budget, this really will help you a lot. And the meat of our choice is going to be hot dogs, of course. I found this up on sale, and this is why I picked this particular brand. I'll begin by cooking the rice first because that's what takes the longest. Now, I have a video about cooking white rice that you can check out. I think it's my most watched video at this point. Not saying a lot, but that doesn't say a lot. I'm going to use this teacup to measure the rice. It's important to measure it. This cup measures a little bit less than one measuring cup. I don't normally use these industrial seasonings, but as I said, if you are on a tight budget, you do need all the help you can get. And so for the 2 cups of rice, I'm going to do 4 cups of water. And then a little bit of neutral oil, the oil of your choice, because of our budget situation. And I'm going to take this pot directly to the stove, turn the heat on low, and let it cook uncovered. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. As I said, I do have a video about rice cooking that goes a little bit more in depth on how I do it. So as the rice is cooking, I'm going to prepare the other ingredients, starting with the garlic. I'm going to use 4 cloves, but you can use as many or as few as you want. With the garlic, I'm simply going to slice it or laminate it. Now, the Italians believe that that little color center causes indigestion and should be removed. I have a video where I talk a little bit more about that. It's in the description as well. So to begin the cooking, I'm just adding some neutral oil and the garlic into a cold pan. This is very important. I turn the heat on very low, add a couple of bay leaves, let that go very gently while I continue with the other vegetables. And now I'll prepare the onions. First by peeling them. Some people say that you should keep the root end attached because it makes it easier for chopping the onion, but that's not true. For one thing, that stuff is very dirty. You're going to contaminate your food if you leave that on. And as you can see, all the internal structure of the onion is still there. The onion is not loose simply because I cut that bit off. I guess what I'm saying is that you shouldn't just believe what people tell you just because they have a TV show or something. That doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. And before I slice the onion, I do like to rinse it in cold water because of all the dirt that was on it. I also rinse the knife and the cutting board. And now I'm simply going to slice the onions in a very sort of coarse way. It's fine. While I was chopping the onions, the garlic has begun to saute slightly, so I'll add the onions right in. And by now the rice has begun to gently boil too. While the onions are beginning to fry, I'll rinse this bell pepper and then chop it up rather coarsely as well. And while I was chopping the bell pepper, the onions have gone a bit translucent, so it's the right time to add the bell pepper. A little bit of salt goes in. The rice is getting there. And now for the hot dogs. This may be weird to some people, but I do like to wash the package with soap and water, just for safety situation. When you first slice open a package of hot dogs, you may see this kind of gunk inside, and some people think that it's dirt or impurities, but it's not. It's really just the fat from the hot dog that has come out. So you don't need to rinse the actual hot dogs. You can if you like, but it's not necessary. It's nothing to be afraid of. This package of hot dogs came with 10, so I'm slicing half of them on the bias and I'll add straight into the pan with the onions and the bell pepper and the garlic to get that going. As for the other 5 hot dogs, I'm gonna chop it a little bit more finer just to get some shape variety in the food and also to stretch the hot dogs a little bit more, let's be honest here. And there they go now. The rice is almost there. To finish things off with the hot dogs, I'm adding some red chili flakes, some turmeric, and smoked paprika. And just like that, it's done. In case you're curious as to why I didn't add these seasonings before, it's because in my experience, if you add these powders in the beginning, they can burn or soak too much moisture from the food too early on, so I prefer to wait. Let's check on the rice now. As you can see, the bottom of the pot is dry, so I'll turn the heat off, cover, and let it stand there for 15 minutes. After that, it's just a question of fluffing the rice and mixing it with the hot dog. And speaking of mixing, I actually forgot to press record while I was doing the first half, so I apologize for that. But the only thing I did was to mix half of that rice content with the hot dogs, as I'm doing there now. I prefer to cook the rice separately like that, because I think it gives you a better result. With the ingredients that I used, I got about 5 decently sized portions that would satisfy most adults, I think. This meal, of course, is entirely customizable. If you don't want to use hot dogs, you can use some kind of smoked sausage. You can do the same thing pretty much with chicken thighs, with any kind of other meat. So it's all depending on your budget and what you like to eat. If you don't like rice, you can serve this sausage mixture over some noodles or some potatoes. This video is mostly a suggestion, of course. This entire meal cost me a little less than $3, which per portion comes to about 60 cents. But if you live in the United States, I'm sure you could get costs even lower because food is a lot cheaper there. I'm not gonna lie to you and say this is the most wonderful meal you could ever eat, because it's not. However, it is a very acceptable meal if you are in a struggle situation. I certainly wouldn't mind eating like that if I ever needed to. But anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see each other in the next video. Bye.